Hi, everybody. I'm Leslie Brisson, and I am a proud Seroptimist. I have been a Seroptimist for probably about 7 years now, and I'm the third-time president of Seroptimist International of Washoe County. I also have been involved with the Stop Trafficking initiative through Seroptimist for the last few years. Over that time, I have done my best to try to bring insight, educate, share information with you that would shed some light in our community, in our world, in our state, and come up with some solutions on how to spread awareness, how to help break the cycles of trafficking in your area, in our area, etc. So I want to talk to you a little bit today about what I learned at a conference. It was an online conference that I attended about a month ago, and it's called Human Trafficking Awareness, and it was put on by the Reno Police Department, and they have a division called HEAT, which stands for Human Exploitation and Trafficking. So I'm going to just dig in and I'm going to give you some information here, and I want to keep this brief because nobody wants to hear anybody talk for a long time on something that is definitely a concerning topic, and it's not a fun topic. It's a very serious topic, and for me, it's heartbreaking, and as it is for you too, I'm sure. So we know what sex trafficking is. It can happen. It is the movement of or the transportation of a person who is coerced, endangered, threatened, abused for the purpose of sexual acts, and in response to that, someone's getting paid for that. It's a horrific act, right? And we know it happens all over the world, and it happens here in Northern Nevada. And it happens wherever you are sitting now watching this video. It doesn't matter your neighborhood, it doesn't matter your demographic, it doesn't matter if you live in a $1 million house. Trafficking could be happening next door to you in the $2 million house. It could be happening in the $1,000 a month apartment or or anywhere. It can happen anywhere. And that's what Reno PD shared with us. I mean, it does not discriminate. So a little bit about the local trends that they shared with us in our area, or my area where I am coming to you from is Reno. The local trends that the HEAT team saw over the year 2019 to 2020, they saw street level prostitution and trafficking. And what that is, obviously, that is a street, right? It could be any street in your city. Our city has famously been known in the past for the 4th Street corridor, where a lot of prostitution happens, a lot of crime, et cetera, et cetera. But it's changing. You know, you've got all different levels of prostitution and trafficking. And there's high level, which I guess I would equate to the $1 million house with the $2 million house. Things go on that you may not know. It can happen anywhere. Neighborhoods. There's been trafficking rings that have been broken up in some of the best middle class neighborhoods in Reno, and then also in everything in between. So street level, and that is predominantly what they saw mostly of in the past. But now what they're finding is that this is posturing, and exchanges are going on online and through social media. Also video games. I don't want to discount video games because they did talk about the Xbox and all those PS, I don't know, whatever those systems are. Apparently there are people all over the world that play those games, and they are posturing people that are playing those games at the same time, and I had no idea. My son used to play Xbox all the time, and it never crossed my mind. Fortunately, we never had to worry about anything, but it's a vulnerability. Those kids that are playing video games are so vulnerable, and it's a wake-up call. So people are gravitating toward those platforms to look for victims. Residential brothels. So residential brothels and strip clubs. I'm going to throw in strip clubs as well. I'm not sure in our area what the status of the strip clubs are. I don't know if they've been opened or not. Brothels, again, we're talking 2019, 2020, so before there were closures, these were areas where they experienced or found trafficking to be taking place. So brothels really are and strip clubs really breed trafficking. And, for years, the owners and legislators and whatnot always said that, oh no, this is a safe place because it's safe and we test and we do this and we do that. But honestly, they're not safe. What they found was that pimps were building relationships with brothel owners and with the prostitutes. And you can imagine, trafficking has worked its way into those venues. Massage parlors. So I don't know if you've driven around Reno lately, but we have noticed that there are a lot of new massage parlors. That's all I'm going to say. So we know that apparently Reno PD wouldn't tell us that there's trafficking suspicions in massage parlors if it wasn't true. So that's a local trend. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about numbers. So 85% of sex workers involved in commercial sex trade in the year 2019 to 2020 were doing so under the control or supervision of a trafficker or a pimp. Okay, 85%. So it's a business, right? It is a business, and there's obviously a supply. If there wasn't a supply, there wouldn't be a demand. There wouldn't be these numbers that I'm going to share with you. This is heartbreaking, friends. The average age of entry into the commercial sex trade for females in our area was the ages 12 to 14. If you have a 12 to 14-year-old daughter or son or grandchildren, ages 12 to 14, you want to know what they're doing, who they're talking to, where they're going, what's on their cell phones, what's on their computers, what video games they're playing, who their TikTok friends are, some of these kids are on Tinder, they're on these dating sites. It's out of control. The internet has changed the game, not only for the world as we know it, for commerce and business, but for this dark business, this dark side of commerce. It's scary. It's so important to know what your kids are doing. So locally, 45% of the cases of trafficking in the year 2019 and 2020 were juvenile, and 55% were adult. That is not a big gap right there. You hate to see any number, but 45% were children. That's so concerning to me. The average age of recovered victims was 15.75 years old, so almost 16, and for adults it was 26.75, almost 27. The youngest reported the youngest reported victim's age in 2019-2020 was a female who was 12 years old, and for the guys it was a 17-year-old. And that's something we can really get into all that. There's so much more that you can throw into this. Broken homes, working parents, unsupervised, low self-esteem, broken home, divorced parents, abuse at home, alcoholism, drugs, transgender, sexual, confusion of sexuality. I don't know how else to put it. Forgive me if that's not politically correct. So much going on in these children's minds, and hormones on top of it, and socioeconomic declines in the family. There's so many variables. It's so important. It's so important to know what kids are doing, and it's so important to be a part of your children's lives and know what's going on. Okay, in 2019 and 2020, the average age of a trafficker, so someone who's actually trafficking these children and getting money, was 23.1 years of age. So that we can go down a rabbit hole there too. Again, there is no discrimination here as to the demographics of what a 23.1-year-old trafficker could be. It could be a college student, it could be a boyfriend, it could be someone who just graduated from college, it doesn't have a job, it could be someone who's jobless, it could be any, the possibilities are endless, truly. Okay, so I'm not going to go into a lot of the processes and things like that. I am going to say and recommend that you watch the documentary it's called Human Trafficking. It's called the Human Trafficking documentary. It'll give you a big eye-opening picture of what is going on. Okay, I'm going to talk about how Seroptimists can help. What can we do? Actually, I'm going to back up. I'm going to tell you more about what HEAT does, and then I'll go into what we can do. So to end, I didn't go into a lot of what the Reno PD, I didn't go into a lot of the statistics. I gave you very basic statistics. But what the Reno PD HEATS division does is they locate and recover victims through targeted operations. They have victim management and victim management resources that they're able to allocate to victims. They locate, interview, target, and arrest traffickers. They demand reduction targeting in sex purchasers. They do extended community outreach and education. They have active monitoring and intelligence out in our community, working with victims, traffickers, and trends. They administer warrants, DA coordination, evidence processing, case follow-up, multi-state case coordination, federal and state case coordination. So they have their hands full. And again, there's only 8, but they do work with the FBI. They do work with other entities in our communities, but they're pretty much it. All right, so I want to talk to you about Seroptimists and what we can do as Seroptimists to help victims, okay? We are in a very great place because we are a large group of women who all have gifts and talents that can serve others and help change cycles, right? So there's 2 entities here in Reno Sparks. One is Awaken and the other is Exquisite. They are nonprofits that help victims. Awaken is here in Reno, and they've been around now for quite some time. They rehabilitate, educate, and support women who have been trafficked or in prostitution and help them discover who they are, what their gifts and talents are, offer them counseling and other services that are going to help them change their lives and go out and live a fulfilled life. They also go out into the community and serve and educate high-risk youth, kids in schools, and others in our communities to help shed light on the trafficking problem and the sexual abuse problem. There's probably other things that they do, but that's basic. They have a home and they house, I'm not sure how many women, but there are opportunities there to scholarship, to serve, to give, to work as a club or work individually to serve in that nonprofit. The other is Exquisite, which is down in Carson. They're a fairly new nonprofit. And we have sort of locked arms with them, my club personally. And what we're doing down there is we are looking to create a Dream It, Be It program in the future. We did a little pop-up shop for them recently for the girls that come in for counseling, for check-ins, for what else do they go in there for? For positive reinforcement, for positive women role model relationships. Just they're either high-risk youth They are women that have been trafficked, or they are young women or any age actually who have been in and out of brothels or prostitution or high risk in other capacities. So we did this little pop-up. We brought clothing and some fun things where these gals could come in and they could shop and take whatever they wanted. We had shoes, we had clothes, we had nail polish, lip gloss, just really fun things that helped make their day. You know, it just was really gratifying to see the looks on their faces and trying clothes on and feeling pretty and feeling like they mattered, you know. So that was cool. So also we did that. And then, like I said, we're working to help them with putting in some sort of Dream It, Be It program in the near future. The other way we helped is we put really nice baskets together. So when a new girl comes in, she'll get a basket. And in that basket is a donated, really pretty lap gown. There's a journal, there's a pen, there's snacks, there's fuzzy socks, nail polish, lip gloss, very subtle, very conservative, you know, colors. What else do we put in there? We put in some color books, color pencils, things that are helpful if they're doing therapy work. So that was something that we did as a club. And then, of course, we did scholarship someone from there. And then we're also putting some monies aside to help with continuing education for victims that are entering in there. So, for example, we have one gal who just left the brothel. And, you know, what happens is when women leave brothels, they're used to making a lot of money. If they're in a high-end brothel, they're used to making 6 figures or more. And when they come out, it's really hard for them to find a job that's going to continue that lifestyle that they were accustomed to. So what they're doing over there is they're helping these girls find, to decide what their gifts and talents are, and further their educations for other skills so they can be placed into jobs where they can make a good wage. So we are looking to help that way. And then we're also helping them with their big fundraiser. They're doing a golf tournament, so we're helping with that. So the reason why we chose that was that they're newer, younger, and they need the support. And so it's been really awesome for us to feel like we're really making a difference and we're helping and we're giving them the support they need to do their great work. So with that said, I hope I've given you some good information. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all staying healthy. Take your vitamins. Get out in the sunshine. It's so beautiful now. And I hope you're enjoying conference, even though it is online. But look forward to July when we're all together, hopefully in person. And if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me. I'm always available. I'm always wanting to help y'all, whatever it is you want to do to help stop trafficking. I would love to help in any way that I can. And it's always best when we lock arms. Remember that we are in a very great position. We're able to really make a difference in this world by encouraging, being an example, and supporting women and girls through education. It has huge ripple effects, and we should all be proud of what we're doing for work. So with that said, enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you all. Hopefully we'll all be together in person in July. Take care.